If you're looking for an appendix holster for a double stack or a 2011, the Mission First Tactical Pro Series holster has a lot going for it. But there's one thing that you should consider that might impact the way you carry, especially if you're using a light. First things first, let's talk about this awesome holster. It is entirely ambidextrous. So you can have it set up for left or right hand. All the mounting positions are exactly universal. And you might be wondering why I have it set up with an appendix wedge, but also for left-handed carry. And that's because I'm actually running this outside the waistband. I know some product designer right now is dying because I'm using an IWB clip for an OWB application. It's okay. I might get to something sturdier in the future, but this is the gun that I just keep loaded and ready to go for the homestead if I'm not gonna grab a rifle. And being able to just clip it onto a belt and easily wear it without really thinking too hard about what I'm wearing for clothing is extremely important to me. That's why I have it set up this way. It did come appendix carry, just to be totally clear, and I did run it that way a bit on the range just for fun. This is not really an appendix carry gun, at least for a guy with my build, but I had some fun just sort of training out of it. Before I get into that, if you appreciate structured gear breakdowns and reviews like this, please consider subscribing. First thing I love about this holster is their magnetic retention system. So down inside the holster, you can probably see best from the bottom here, is a guide rod that goes into your barrel a little bit and a magnet, neodymium magnet. And what that does is it allows this holster to function with or without a light on the gun, even though it is a light compatible holster, but also it gives you very secure lockup. I don't want to shake this I'll shake it, why not? I don't want to damage my worktop here. But anyway, as you can see, that's not coming out. It probably says on this packaging that it comes with what the weight of that magnet is. 11-pound pull. That's decently strong. So an 11-pound magnet inside of there. Not so much that you can't get the gun out when you need it, but definitely enough to give you very positive retention and keep everything in place. Really awesome feature, and I like it because I don't have to use a light on this gun to use the holster. Most light-bearing holsters, your retention is set around the light. This is different, and I like that for it. This is pretty universal, strength number 2, for double stack handguns and 2011s. I'm sure there's some things that don't fit, but this is a 4¼ inch Mac 9 DS comp. Fits like a glove in here. There's absolutely perfect alignment between the trigger guard and the cut for the trigger for my fingers. This is also compatible with your Kimber 2K11 Pro, Springfield Prodigies, Staccato C2, things like that. Okay, so you're gonna get a lot of mileage out of this holster if you own double stacks or 2011s. Just hands down, universal fit in the best sense of that word. I normally hate that phrase too, but in this case, it's a good thing. The quality of this is really good. I'm impressed with this. I actually used to make holsters sort of for fun, sort of as a business 6, 7, 8 years ago. And so I understand a bit about holster making. The design here is very thorough, although I do think they might have missed the mark on one thing. I'll get to that at the end. But I really love the ambidextrous stuff, as I started to say before, because at the end of the day, left and right-handed holsters, there are some percentage of the world who are left-handed, and they should not be underserved. And so this does solve this problem, that problem. But the ambidextrous nature of this also lets me run it as an OWB, and you could put like a blade tech or something on here, some kind of much more secure mount than just basically a foamy clip, and you could run that OWB like I am. All that being said, in this case, the ambidextrous design works very well. It does have a sweat guard on both sides, which I love, and it also actually keeps the safety from getting bumped, although you could actuate the safety inside of it. So it doesn't lock the safety in place. It allows it to be actuated, but it's gonna keep it from getting bumped, which is important. If you're gonna run this, you definitely wanna run it cocked and locked, and the holster enables you to do that well. So if you were gonna run this appendix carry like I did in some practice, don't pick a big gun with a huge magwell like this one is, or be a bigger guy and you could get away with it. I couldn't get away with it. I wasn't even trying to get away with it. I was just having fun getting reps. I do appendix carry Shadow System CR920 XP, obviously a whole lot smaller, totally different setup than I have here. But as I mentioned, it will work really well for that, especially if you run the double overhook design. That's my personal choice. That gives you a really sturdy lockup on your belt. And I have to say, for how heavy this gun is and for how kind of like much weight is in the handle, it did actually fit on there pretty well. And I was almost toying with the idea of taking the magwell off and just seeing if I could appendix carry this gun. But we're rolling into spring when I'm recording this, and realistically that's a winter setup at best for someone like me who's pretty skinny and not awfully tall either. So for me, I'm running this OWB, like I said, clip it onto my waistband, and I'll be able to just run around the homestead with it and have the gun with if I need it, whether I am grabbing it because I'm running out the door to chase off coyotes, or whether we're just doing work around the property and need to keep a gun nearby. This holster is gonna work great for that. And for the product designer out there that's still probably freaking out, I probably will put on like a blade tech or some other type of locking, more rigid mounting system, because it was a bit wiggly on my belts, but I know it was not designed to be mounted like that, so I'm certainly not criticizing the holster or the clip for that setup. All right, so as I mentioned, this is a light bearing holster. let me get a light on here and we'll talk about that. I'm back. So light bearing holster, TLR 7A, fits like a glove. Cool, but SureFire X300 Ultra, or any X300. Oh, it's very tight. It doesn't work. But wait, Holosun P.ID. Doesn't fit. This holster is marketed as weapon light compatible, and it is clearly designed to be weapon light compatible. My rub here is that they could have, with basically just a little bit of an increase in tooling size, made it compatible with the types of lights that guys are actually gonna run on a 4¼ inch double stacker 2011. SureFire X300, definitely the light that most guys are gonna run, or a TLR 1 type light. Holosun P.ID is a bit newer. The sizes are pretty similar, and either could have been made to work. I suspect they have some design reason why they did not make this holster compatible with those lights, and I'm gonna respectfully disagree that I don't think that was the right choice. Because look around Instagram, look around YouTube, you're on YouTube right now, maybe this is an Instagram short, whatever, reel. Anyway, I'm a marketing guy, I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, nobody's running a TLR 7A on a 4¼ inch 2011, or a SureFire XC1, XC2, X3, Enforce Wild 1, maybe, and it mentions a nightstick. I don't even know what model that is. Point being, these are all like the 500 lumen category of light. And dudes who are running a 2011, they want all the brightness in the world, okay? So humor aside, feedback for Mission First Tactical is I think this is an awesome idea, all of it, except I really think you missed the mark with the lights. I'm sure there's design reasons why that was not designed for them. Don't get me wrong, I love this holster, it works great. I just am not sold that this is the best light setup to design this holster around, because I do not think it appeals to the average person who's gonna own a gun like this and try to carry it either inside the waistband or in some kind of outside the waistband setup like I'm doing, okay? So that's my take on it. Please don't think that's a negative bash on the holster. It's great quality, it's gonna work well for whatever you're gonna use it for. I just think the light options need to be opened up. It's realistically a little bit of widening of a couple places in the holster and perhaps a touch more length on the end. And I get that there's all sorts of design considerations that go into something like that, but I feel like this holster would appeal to a lot more people if it was compatible with those larger lights that we're all gonna run on our 4¼ inch double stacks in 2011s. So before I wrap this up, if you are a brand looking to work with a marketing agency in the firearms hunting and outdoors industry that actually lives, breathes, and does the things that we market about, I own one of those. There's a link in this video description. You can click that to learn more. To wrap this up, MFT Pro Series holster. I really like this holster. Nothing wrong with it except for a couple design decisions that I don't agree with. The holster itself has run flawlessly. I love the very positive magnetic retention. I love how well my Mac 9 DS Comp fits and retains in the holster. I love that I can set it up for OWB carry on my homestead because it is ambidextrous. And I loved doing the drills out of it when I was running it with the dual overhooks for appendix carry. If I had to rate this holster, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10, and the only 2 points that we're missing is the light compatibility. I think this is a great holster, solves a lot of problems, and can work really well for this type of gun, assuming that you're not gonna run a big light. And it's not like you couldn't run a small 500-ish lumen light. It's just an absolute compromise compared to the substantially larger, substantially brighter lights that are on the market that fit these guns so well. At the end of the day, if you're considering getting this holster, I would say go grab one. I think you're gonna like it. I think it's gonna work well for you, especially if you have a light that it's already compatible with, that you're already carrying. For me, I'm gonna keep using this as a homestead defense pistol and holster, and it's gonna work very well for that. So if you need something else to watch next, check out my review on the Mission First Tactical 30-liter Acro pack. I've been using this for travel and EDC, and I absolutely love it, and it works great for a trade show bag too. So go watch that to learn more.